Thank you, Senator Kane. Senator Ricketts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, thank you all for wanting to serve our great nation. Really appreciate it. And also for your families as well, because you will spend time away from your friends and family, and they will sacrifice along with you as you do this job, should you be confirmed. So thank you for your interest in wanting to do that. And I also just want to, again, compliment our State Department people who work in our embassies across the world. They do such a fantastic job. Argentina's geostrategic significance in the South Atlantic continues to rise. Communist China and Russia are building up their presence around Antarctica. And the Strait of Magellan, which passes through Argentina, is one of two safe maritime routes between the Atlantic and the Pacific. Encouragingly, under President Milei, Argentina has increasingly aligned with the U.S. and NATO. However, due to long-standing tensions between the U.K. and Argentina over the Falklands, Britain has long blocked sales of military equipment with British components to Argentina, even sales by third countries. This has complicated our ability to support Argentina as it desperately looks to modernize its armed forces. It has also driven Argentina to look to Communist China for weapons. The prior government nearly bought Chinese fighter jets, and let's not forget, Communist China still operates a satellite station in Patagonia. Dr. Lamelas, under President Milei, it appears that real progress can be made between the UK and Argentina over the Falklands. This could lead to a loosened restrictions on weapons exports by the UK and help steer Argentina's defense modernization away from Beijing and toward Western suppliers. If confirmed, what actions will you take to encourage increased relations between the UK and Argentina to achieve this result?
Thank you, Senator Ricketts. Your question is deeply appreciated. Also, your oversight of our ongoing role, will be deeply appreciated. And I don't want to correct you, but the islands are an issue. The United States does not recognize sovereignty over the islands for either Argentina or Britain. They recognize the administration of the British people on the island, but we have a position of neutrality over the islands. And anything that encourages dialogue, ongoing dialogue between Britain and Argentina is appreciated. One of the roles that I have as an ambassador would be to travel to all 23 provinces, including, obviously, I think if there was an opportunity to travel to the islands, I'd be more than happy to cooperate with the British administration there and do that as an outreach. I think Javier Milei has a good perspective on this. We're trying to further align ourselves with Argentina. One of my roles would be to push back against the CCP. The United States has to act as a counterweight against the CCP. We need to encourage more U.S. goods and supplies. The military sale recently of the F-16s is fantastic because they have ongoing service and maintenance of the F-16s. So more outreach. One of my goals as ambassador would be to increase trade and increase investment. Currently, Argentina, actually the U.S. has approximately a $2.1 billion trade surplus with Argentina. I think a rising tide lifts all boats. I'd like to increase more trade bilaterally between Argentina and the United States and increase U.S. investments. One of my roles as an ambassador will be not only I have very little to do with the tariffs. That's the U.S. trade representative. But what I could do is lower non-tariff trade barriers that currently exist. VAT taxes, currency controls, port delays. So all of these efforts that I have, that I've outlined, I have a plan, I'd be more than happy to share it with you, are going to improve U.S.-Argentine relationships and push China out little by little.
Great, thank you very much. Well, you know, it's just not about Argentina. Across the world, Communist China is eagerly looking to increase arms sales, and this has serious implications for us because when countries purchase a Chinese weapon, they are tied to Beijing through the entire life cycle of the weapon, similarly to what you were just talking about with the F-16s, which is why we want to sell them the weapons. That's why I introduced the Think Twice Act with Senator Bennett to require a global strategy to dissuade countries from purchasing Chinese arms. And I hope you will support this legislation given the impact it would have on your future posting. And I see that I am out of time, so I will turn it back over to the chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Ricketts. Senator Shaheen.